First thing I have to mention. I got a bad case of stage fright and the flu, so about 98% of the video will be narrated by a TTS bot. Second thing. This video contains flashing lights, some bloody scenes and a ton of annoying jokes and/or voices. So be prepared. Let us begin. Shall we? The hub for the games was a slight downgrade from the classic, but that is to be expected. After all, it's hard to top a peak design with years of history behind it. I want to say that for what it's worth, it's an amazing design with so much love put into it and what it represents. For the small amount of time these devs were given to make these hubs and events, they really do an outstanding job at it. The hub for the event is absolutely beautiful looking and full with a good chunk of content to explore and have fun with for what is really just meant to be the least important part of the event. Now let's talk about that content, shall we? I'm going to start with the least interesting thing, and that's the hidden silver tokens. They can be found hiding around the hub. Nothing special really besides helping out people who could be a bit short from reaching an item on the battle pass. The next thing is the cube scavenger hunt. There's 10 cubes which have to be collected in a specific order, and they reward the player with 10 shines, secondary currency, which can be used to buy gear inside the hub to help out with other challenges/badges inside of it. Kind of like the team challenges. The team challenges consist of either an obby or a minigame that's tailored and unique for each team's island. Completing each challenge gives you 10 silver. Miscellaneous challenges. There's only 3 of them and they're kind of small. One is using the camera gear to take a picture with your team's statues, the other is a flight speedrun course, and the last is showing off the Team Aura gear to helper bot. I kind of lied when I said there's 3 miscellaneous challenges on the hub. There is a 4th one and it's pretty big and important, also the background gameplay so far. Of course, I'm talking about the 1x1x1x1 boss fight rematch. Rematch? Most of you probably said confused. Yes, this is technically a rematch. On the final day of the classic event, you could fight 1x1x1x1 in his underground bunker and then you'd see a credit scroll, no prize for defeating him though. I'm extremely happy with the new boss and the fact it actually awards a prize for fighting him. The prize itself is also cool. Now, why don't we have a little comparison and take a look at clips of how both of these boss fights go. Play the clips, me. This was the classic boss. Now let's see what the game's rematch had to offer. The difference is huge. I gotta personally say that the OST for the new 1x1x1x1 boss was amazing. I loved it. It was made by a Geolite. And that should just about cover everything important from the hub. I personally liked it even if it felt not as amazing as the one from the games, but it's still high quality and shows that Twin Atlas don't mess around and don't miss. Now let's move on to our next and main subject, which is I'll tackle the games featured in the games in alphabetical order, rather than how I completed them, since some missions could have been changed and or altered in that time. There's a few things I'll be discussing, and those are: Number 1, originality of the mission. Number 2, how fun is it to actually complete? Number 3, is it fair to new players? Each game featured in this event has 3 quests which are broken down into tiers. Quest number 1, easy, 10 silver reward. Quest number 2, medium, 20 silver reward. Quest number 3, a hard, 30 silver reward. With this information, here's a list of all the featured games inside of the games. The first game I'm covering is Adopt Me. The missions inside the game aren't that bad or tedious, kind of enjoyable actually. In difficulty order they were: collect 300 points total in the Sunshine Games. Achieve a score of 225 points in the Sunshine Games. Achieve a score of 260 points in the Sunshine Games. The Sunshine Games update was launched a week before the game's event began. The quests themselves were pretty simple and easy to complete, plus new players/event hunters could just hop on and do them if they wanted to, with no other requirements. This was 100 times better than what the classic event had to offer. My final score is 7 out of 10. And it goes into A tier. The next game is Arm Wrestle Simulator. It's the first game featured in the event so far with a fully original quests crafted for the event. In difficulty order they were: beat the neighborhood obby, solve the farm puzzle and defeat the enemy, collect all the basketballs, beat the city obby and defeat the boss. I personally loved every moment of this mission. The way it incorporated the base gameplay along with a mix of some original challenges to keep the player from getting bored from repetition was nice. Not many complaints besides the game's speed being a bit slow. But that's just nitpicking. My final score is 9 out of 10. And it goes into S tier. Before I say anything about the mission, look at my cameo in the video. Now onto our main subject, and that is Arsenal. An amazing game that never fails to deliver an 11 out of 10 event content. The missions in difficulty order were: kill 20 enemies in one run. Don't buy upgrades for a full floor. Beat the entire challenge, floor 3. This mission was a blast to go through for so many reasons. It has tons of content and replayability, as well as interesting enemies and classes and upgrades. I wish it was bigger cause it was so damn good. Not only can it be soloed if you're a total social outcast, but yeah. The challenges themselves weren't that complex, so you can just play casually and do them without realizing. Genuinely, this was one of the best event missions made in 2024 so far, and I can't wait for more from the Rolf team. 11 out of 10. Perfection tier. Bad Business had high hopes from me after the RP2 mission and the Twitter teaser, but it was a bit of a letdown, not going to lie. Still pretty fun once Quest 1 is over with. The missions in difficulty order were: collect 30 trophies from slayed players, get 20 racket melee kills, get 20 racket ranged kills. As I just mentioned, my least favorite part of this whole mission was Quest 1. At launch, trophies had a super low drop rate, which was increased later, and that made it a pain to complete. Quest 2 and Quest 3 also were rebalanced by nerfing the requirements from needing 30 kills each, down to 20 kills. Moving forward from those complaints and statistics, I love the fact that the devs made an entirely new weapon for the event and even gave it away for free to everyone who participated in the event. As long as you did Quest 1, that is. Anyhow, the game gets a 7 out of 10. AE tier. I don't have literally anything to say about this game. It's literally the lowest form of event participation. Recycled normal gameplay but as a quest. The missions in difficulty order were: score 3 dunks, get 5 assists, score a 3-pointer shot. What I said a moment ago is not true sometimes. There's a game later on which reuses normal gameplay but in a fun way that also fits the theme of this event. Basketball Legends does not, and if anything it's actually painful to do as a new player. For Quest 1, it relies on you either being able to steal the ball, barely doable, or have it be passed on by another player, which in a normal server is almost impossible unless your stats look good. And for Quest 2, you rely on others scoring with your pass, if you can even get 2 actually pass. As for Quest 3, you better pray that you get the ball in your hands before anything and are then allowed to shoot with near-perfect precision. This mission relies on you either being good at the game or finding a near-empty server to do the quests. Hated every moment of it. How it feels to play Basketball Legends for more than 1 minute. Let's get this over with. Let the pain end with a nice, modest 3 out of 10. D tier.
Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law on my watch! I'm confiscating your stolen goods. Now pay your fine! or it's off to jail. Then pay with your blood!
Welcome to be NPC or die. You either commit enough crimes to win or stop the criminal scum of the world. Anyhow, the missions in difficulty order were: commit 5 crimes and win as a criminal. Stop 5 criminals and win as a sheriff. Reach the top of the new lighthouse map. On the topic of scum, I sure love seeing this message whenever I'm trying to complete a game for an event. It sure feels nice being forced into playing a game with normal players who just want to have fun, but instead we have to keep getting in each other's way. But why stop there? Why not force the event players to wait for an intermission that lasts 30 seconds between 5-minute rounds for them to search a huge lobby for the shines? Better yet, limit it to 3 randomly spawning shines each time so they have to stay more. I've said enough. 1 out of 10. F tier. Get out of my sight. Need to wash the taste of crap off my mouth with some peak. BSS my beloved. So happy to see you in another event. The missions in difficulty order were: complete Sunbear's quest 1 through 3. The quests themselves were a bit too long, and also more than one per in-game quest for me to include, so I shortened it. Anyways, they involved playing big golf, which was placed in the starter zones fields. Each field had a unique golfing course which also included different types of obstacles and or challenges, like fences which blocked your path, targets which were required to be hit, and mud which reset your golf ball's position if it made contact with it. Overall, the challenges were short and sweet, but also filled with tons of fun, creativity, and accessibility to new or low-rank players. Not to mention that Sunbear's back in the game after 4 whole years.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
In my totally not biased opinion, Bee Swarm gets a 10 out of 10. Perfection tier. Blade Ball has had such a big improvement this time around compared to its missions during the hunt and the classic. The missions in difficulty order were: kill 5 players, win on the new event map, beat the Kraken boss. Overall, I've grown to like the game more over time since the hunt, and seeing it improve in events as well is nice too. This time around they actually included the custom event boss as part of the quests, compared to what was done with the classic boss. I will deduct some points though, for the obvious fact that the event was disabled in VIP servers and had to be done in public ones. This once more leads to new or struggling players being forced at a disadvantage to fight more skillful players. It's an improvement, but still short of amazing. 6 out of 10. AE tier.
One of the worst experience I've had playing an event game in the past 10 years or so. The only thing saving this game was the custom event map. The mission in difficulty order were: deal 5 cents damage 2 players. Win 3 DU match. Win à 5 player effet Fabrawl. Visit the horrible way to find all the shine, which required you smashing box on the map until the shine just randomly spawned, 5 all times. This mission was beyond broken when it came to the actual fight themselves. When you queued up for the effet Fabrawl, you couldn't anchor or participate in any other fight until the match had taken place or you rejoin the game. Note to mention just how broken starting a DU match was, almost pulled my hair out just queuing up for this. While the dev had an nice idea to balance out everyone by making all players LV50 and J20 them une stat to boost to 60, it was still a miserable experience overall. And once more, no VIP server allowed for this, so you're at the mercy of the public server people and their skill. But the worst part of this whole thing is: the dev are French.
Our king is great! Vive la révolution!
The game sur was a thing that happened and j'ai HZ 4 out of 10. C'est tiers.
The game's quests for me were a mixed bag, to be honest. I like and dislike them equally, but they're not terrible. In difficulty order they go: join a pack and enter the arena. Kill 3 players in the arena. Find all 5 shines on the map. The first quest is incredibly easy, and the second is laughably easy in VIP servers but also manageable in public ones. But the third quest is pretty for me. Finding all 5 shines on the map isn't exactly enjoyable considering how huge it is, but that's about it for complaints. The quests here are perfectly average, nothing too bad or amazing. A solid 5 out of 10. B tier. Dress to Impress continues to improve with each new event and makes each new quest better than the last. The mission this time around was super fun and stylish. In difficulty order the quests go. Place top 4 as a duo. Place top 3 in the mermaid obby. Place top 3 in the mermaid race mode. The first quest was kind of problematic, I can't lie. It heavily relies on the fact if you have enough people to rig the votes in your favor or somehow get carried by your duo partner. The people who play this game are unpredictable to be honest, but that's kind of fun. Me and my friend won as the Joker and a magical girl. Aren't we stunning? Anyways, once you get over the hurdle of Quest 1, it gets much more fun and stunning. The levels they built for those 2 new modes/quests were super nice looking and fun to mess around with. This was a surprisingly enjoyable event game and it gets an awesome 8 stars out of 10. S tier. Welcome to GTA 5 on Roblox. I mean this as a compliment by the way. I love the car and map physics, as well as the course designs. In difficulty order the quests go. Get 5,000 air score. Complete 5, the game's, themed obbies. Place top 3 in 3 races with 4+ people. In case you don't get what I meant, here's gameplay snippet of a GTA 5 stunt racing course. Anyways, the quests themselves were pretty alright, not too easy but not too hard either for what it is. The custom courses and races made for the event though. Those were amazing. I loved every single bit of it and the theming was perfectly done. There's not much more to say so the score I'm handing out is 7 out of 10. AE tier.
Hello, my name is Mythic Spire, also known as President Monkey, and I'll be reviewing Driving Empire. First I shall note 2 things. The obstacle courses are randomly generated, and there's a game pass you can pay to make quests easier. In difficulty order, the quests go. Get 360 points from the new obstacle course. Get 900 points from the new obstacle course. Get 1800 points from the new obstacle course. Earth. My opinion. I thoroughly enjoyed the sliding ramps, and how you had to dodge the fire. But I didn't like the game pass that made quests easier. Overall, it was a fairly simple quest, but nothing too exciting, and the pay-to-win aspect of a game pass really brought the rating down for me. 5 out of 10.
The game had a really cool implementation for the event with the whole new Big Island map but also mini-games implemented into the main quests themselves. In difficulty order the quests go. Reach 300 size and do the island race. Earn 150 points from hitting targets. Get 1000 points. I love the custom map they made for this event, it's full of secrets and stuff to do. Related or not to the main quests. And it's just big enough to fit everything without it feeling cluttered. The quests themselves were pretty fun. For the first, you had to pretty much circle the map while hitting checkpoints and it didn't feel too long to do. For the second quest, you just had to throw ground pieces at the floating targets. Normal gave 5 points and Golden 15 points. At the end of the day, the quests weren't too long or too short, neither were they too hard or too easy. They were perfectly balanced in my opinion as well as the shines being well hidden around the map. 10 out of 10. Perfection tier. The last game was a perfect bridge to the current topic. Epic mini games. Haven't seen them in an event for 4 years, so let's see what they got to offer. In difficulty order the quests go. Unlock the arcade and beat the 3 challenges. Find a volleyball, shoes and racket inside rounds. Win 5 sports-themed mini games. The quests themselves were fine and fun. With one single exception. This boxing challenge required a near-perfect score for the little time it had given, and it left me, as well as many others, in blood-boiling rage. Also, the creator of Epic Minigames changed the VIP server cost from free to 100 Robux exclusively while the event was happening. The VIP server thing really ticked me off, so I'm slightly lowering the score even if I didn't want to. 8 out of 10. S tier. Another game that hasn't been in events for a while. 6 years while. But I don't feel happy seeing it back in one again. In difficulty order the quests go. Place top 3 in a sporty color rush round. Place top 3 in a poolside glam clash round. Place top 3 in a extreme sports round, 3 times in a row. I have nothing else to say besides the fact that if the game didn't have free VIP servers, I would have gamed it a 0/10. In other words, this was an abysmal inclusion, but luckily cheesable. 1 out of 10. F tier. A Metaverse Champions classic. Was super excited to see it in this event. Let's see what's on the plate. In difficulty order the quests go. Win the fishing race. Hunt trouts and bring back 20 trout tails. Play a round of jet ski racing. Overall the quests weren't that bad. I liked them mostly, besides the second one being more friendly to experienced players with good fast boats and much nicer weapons. Another thing is that barely anyone was playing the jet ski race minigame, and it was just way too long. Fishing simulator was mostly good, but the few bad things really stood out. The quests themselves were also really broken for the first 3 days of the event. 6 out of 10. AE tier. The nightmare of most The Hunt players. Had super low expectations for a decent mission, but was nicely surprised. In difficulty order the quests go. Tackle 2 players. Gain 15 yards. Finish a match. No complaints here to be had from me. All of the quests seem fair and balanced, which is good to see. I had a good time playing the game even if I don't know what any of it means or how it works. I'm from, and live in the EU, more specifically Bulgaria. Although unoriginal, the quests weren't as bad as what Basketball Legends had to offer. So I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. C tier. I am not a fan of rhythm games, exception being Fortnite Festival, but I am even less of a fan of Friday Night Funkin'. I am a hater, in fact. In difficulty order the quests go. Beat the Summer Obby Deathless in under 10 minutes. Get at least 50% score on the Quest 2 songs. Beat a player on 3 out of the 6 Quest 3 songs. The quests themselves aren't that hard if you are good at rhythm games, but Lord have mercy if you suck. While I didn't have many problems, I know a lot of people who did, and I feel pity for their souls. Anyways. Glazing time. One of my friends worked on the event, and I want to say they did an amazing job with everything they made. Glazing time over. The quests here, while pretty well made and beautifully looking, were just meh and kind of unfriendly to non-skilled people. 6 out of 10. AE tier. Gym League made a really nice mission format which made the quests accessible to new and old players. In difficulty order the quests go. Play 5 boxing matches or win 1. Play 3 deadlift matches or win 1. Complete 5 track matches or win 1. It seems refreshing to see a game give you 2 possible paths for how you handle the quests inside. If you had experience already, you just win the 3 rounds and are done with. But even if you're new, the rounds cycle every 60 seconds and last as much. As a base JoJo's fan, I won the boxing and track rounds first try. Anyways, back on topic. It was fun, it had many buff men and it was accessible and not too long for everyone, new or old. 7 out of 10. AE tier. I know nothing about baseball, so I'm extra happy that HCBB's quests are all related to the tutorial and or beginner-friendly mode. In difficulty order the quests go. Complete the tutorial. Hit 2 balls or score 8 points in the tutorial. Score 5 points in the event mode. Once more we see a game that has 2 possible paths for the player to take. For me personally, I did the 2 hits. One since it seemed easier. An interesting thing that I want to point out is this. Find all 5 shines for even more points. What is interesting in that little message is that the shines can only be found in the event mode and the third quest requires you scoring points in that mode. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but perhaps if you collected all 5 shines first, doing quest 3 would be made much easier. No complaints here really. You came in, got the hang of the game and you were done. While not exciting or new, it's nice having a choice between quests, not to mention that possible shines boost. 5 out of 10. B tier. A game made by the same group as Basketball Legends. And somehow had their quests made even worse. In difficulty order the quests go. Get 2 steals. Have your team score 5 times during a round. Win on the My Park mini playfields. You know, the first 2 quests themselves weren't that bad really. But the third quest, it seems fine at the start but... In the My Park mode, everyone's win-loss ratios are visible and hanging like huge billboards. If you didn't manage to do the quest between days 1 to 2, it would be nearly impossible to complete cause most non-fans of the game had left and moved on to other games. While I had the luxury of being carried by Batman and getting a clean 1 win/0 losses. Some of my friends were stuck for hours with piling losses and no wins, because most experienced players would avoid them for having a bad public score. Summoning my inner hater, I give this game a 1 out of 10. F tier. NGL, seeing this game in an event feels like a blessing. Had so much fun doing everything inside and hope to see it included more. In difficulty order the quests go. Survive a flash flood event. Win on the islands game mode. Defeat TH Epic Duck Boss. While I loved everything, the one thing which bothered me was that in the event menu, it was stated that flash floods have a 60% chance to spawn every round. I don't know for most people, but for me it felt like it had a 20% chance cause it took me 2 whole hours to encounter it. That's my only criticism/note. For as much as I want to lower the score a bit for that one complaint, I can't bring myself. Everything here was too much fun, so 10 out of 10. Perfection tier. We are once more looking at a game using its tutorial for the event quests. Sad. In difficulty order the quests go. Catch a horse. Level up the horse once. Play a race. Not much to say, Only thing which caught me off guard is the fact that races last 5 minutes, have a 5-minute cooldown and take 3+ players to start. The last part is probably the worst thing since 90% of players don't even bother with races, so you gotta call in friends, ults, or pray for help. Might as well sneak in some horse-related propaganda since there's not more to say. Please, whoever is listening, reading, or knows of this, read JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7, Steel Ball Run. Final rating is 5 out of 10. B tier. Here's the event stuff. Let's get it over with. In difficulty order the quests go. Defeat Horse Racing Fan 1 time. Get top 6 in W1, 3 times. Defeat Horse Racing Master 10 times. This game is ASS. It's the lowest form of slop on Roblox. It has stolen assets, insane UI that screams gamble gamble, play and so many copyright violations it's insane. In the images I just provided there's at least 10+ stuff that shouldn't be there for multiple reasons. Whoever at Roblox picked this game should either actually play the games before selecting them for an event, or they shouldn't be selecting games period. The quests themselves are such time wasters too, made purely to bank on the fact that the game will be given a huge official boost by Roblox. The devs threw out whatever microscopic dignity they had left and said, nah, you stay as long as we want you to stay. The quests use the normal energy system of the game, so if you pre-grinded, good job. You only get to spend 20 to 30 minutes inside grinding. As for whoever didn't grind it out ahead of time, too bad, have fun spending 2 to 3 hours just AFKing inside. A deserved score of -999 out of 10. Shit tier.
I hate this red thing, I spit on you!
Keys is kind of fun to play casually, but the event missions started pulling on my patience at one point. In difficulty order the quests go. Escape 5 monster pursuits. Open 10 doors and revive 5 teammates. Escape 3 times. The quests themselves aren't that hard really, but they have to be done in order, which makes a possible 10-minute challenge into 30+ minute one. An example of this is how while I was doing the quests with friends, some of us were ahead of others until the point where everyone got stuck on quest 2. Now everyone is at a standstill because we all need revives, but we don't want to be down cause we want to revive others for the quest. My point with this is, if the quests were just all doable at once, people would just naturally progress and not butt heads with each other about who should progress first and why. Overall, nothing new was made for those quests, and it's just reusing normal gameplay plus the complaint I just listed. 4 out of 10. C tier. The game is a basic slop simulator, with heavy use of AI garbage for a good chunk of its assets. As for the quests themselves, they're too big to fit on this opening, so I'll tackle them one by one. Quest number 1. Collect 50 stars. Open 7 eggs. Launch yourself 7 times. Quest number 2. Upgrade the launcher to level 2. Reach World 2. And quest number 3. Open 3 event eggs. Reach World 3. As we can see once more, the quests are acting as a tutorial for the game, and a long one at that. And just like keys, you need to do them in order even if you're already ahead. Not much more to say besides that the event eggs thing took me 40 minutes to do. God. Before the rating, I just want to show you this image I took inside the game. The rating I give this thing is a 3 out of 10. D tier. MZ's whole package for the games might be one of the best event integrations of 2024 so far. In difficulty order the quests go. Earn 20,000 points in the baseball minigame. Hit 60 targets in the shooting minigame. Defeat the Michael Pirate crew. The map for this whole thing was extremely cool and full of Easter eggs and stuff to find. There were also little Michaels dressed up as all the leaders for the 5 teams, and they were roaming around the map. The quests themselves were very fun to do and I have zero complaints about them. Most of the shines were hidden around the map, but one of them was inside of the shooting minigame, which caught me off guard since I didn't read the mission board.
The One Piece! The One Piece is real!
I think the score is quite obvious by now, so without any more dragging, 10 out of 10. Perfection tier. I don't know what to say about this game TBH. It just felt kind of disappointing and meh. In difficulty order the quests go. Buy the 2009 Meister Senrencerita. Buy the weight reduction kit from the tuner store. Win the Gold Label Brawl race. Overall the quests weren't bad or anything, pretty cool, and the players were given a cool new car plus upgrades for free, but for a racing game, the driving feels so bad and sloppy. The thing here is no matter how good of a mission and or game is in every aspect, if it's not good to play or experience, it's Joe over. I just couldn't stand the driving, and that affected the racing aspect a ton, so sadly. This gets a 4 out of 10. C tier. Before I say anything about the game itself, I want to say that this is the only segment which doesn't use footage from Premium's channel. Mostly cause I was meant to make the tutorial for it but gave up when this game broke my spirit. And I'm sure you wonder, how bad can it truly be for a game to break your spirit that badly? In difficulty order the quests go. Beat the Around the World race. Beat the Summer Trail race. Complete the Track race, track under 110 seconds. These don't sound too bad, right? But let me bring the concept from our last segment, and that is, If it doesn't play good, it just won't end up good. This game is sloppier than MRT and there's tons of minuscule bumps, Z-fighting and other minor map issues that can break the bikes or kill the player. I have personally been killed by randomly spawning cars behind or on top of me, random empty spots on the map, weird track designs, too big turns and so on. I had to re-record the tutorial for this over 10 times cause of all these random issues outside of my control. And that's where I just gave up. The worst, and I mean the worst thing about this, is that none of the races had checkpoints, which means that if you die near the end, you gotta restart all over again. The races themselves are all nearly 10 minutes each, which doesn't make it any better, and both of them are circling the entire map. And that just means you gotta circle the map twice. It still wouldn't have been a big problem if the races just worked and didn't break randomly, making it uncompletable. But that's just the races. As for the track thing, it required you to have a decently good bike and finish the race in under 90 seconds. But missing a marker would secretly give you a 20-second penalty without warning, and hitting the markers themselves is just horrible with how the bike controls and moves. Near the end of the event, the track got nerfed to requiring 110 seconds, which made it slightly easier to do, and most of the bugs were fixed, but it was a bit too late. All shines were also moved to spawn rather than being spread around the huge map like before. While this whole experience brought me great misery and a breakdown, the game itself is not on the level of crap as Horse Racing Simulator, so a 0 out of 10 should settle this. F tier. This was a mostly fun experience, but I might have perhaps been carried by a group of Premiums fans while doing it with him. I'm a fraud, I know. In difficulty order the quests go. Win 2 group games in a row. Win 15 group rounds or win a game without dying. Get 15 knife kills in a group match or win only using the knife. I hate to keep repeating myself, but this game has such bad quests. It's all just get wins or get tons of kills, and it all has to be done in order. Worse is that the game uses full crossplay servers, so console, mobile and PC players all bunched up together, which can end up being unfair in cases. There isn't anything separating new players from experienced either, so while you could be carried sometimes, but most of the time, you'll be squished by better people. If you manage to get into a group duel, that is. I'm gonna be honest, if it weren't for the carry, I probably would have spent an hour or more trying to finish everything. 3 out of 10. D tier. I was originally gonna make a joke about games with stupidly long names and compare them to a manga title, but I just couldn't dig up one that would be semi-acceptable to show off here for the bit. With that out of the way, Bike Obby was a decently fun experience and somewhat easy. Though it was incredibly broken for the first 2 days of release. In difficulty order the quests go. Place top 3 in a race or play 3 races. Beat the event world and W1 time trials. Beat the event world. A thing that confused me and a lot of others were the time trials. You had to interact with this NPC to start them, which wasn't really stated anywhere. The whole point of the game is kind of to just speed through every level to try and beat it fast as possible, but for this, you had to focus on where the biker trial was placed so you can stop and interact with it. Halfway through editing this segment, I found out that to play the event world, you had to beat World 19? As someone who had beaten 90% of the game a while ago, I really didn't know about this requirement and thought anyone could access it. This changes a lot of my thoughts, not gonna lie. Originally, I was going to give this like a 5, but with this new revelation, it goes to a 3 out of 10. D tier. Pacer test was okay, I guess? I liked their Metaverse Champions quest a lot more, but yeah. In difficulty order the quests go. Gain 10 speed. Get to round 5, 5 times. Win 3 games against 3+ players. For the first quest, it's just an AEFK simulator with nothing much to do really. As for the other quests, it's just play constantly the same thing of moving from point A to point B repeatedly until you're done. Kind of feels like brain rot. Important. Flashing lights warning. Look away if you're sensitive to seizures or can't handle bright, fast-moving stuff. I just couldn't stop myself from including an A-Train fancam edit into the video. Anyway, so I'm 1 out of 10. F tier. I do like to casually play pet catchers from time to time, so seeing it in an event made me smile, can't even lie. In difficulty order the quests go. Complete the 3 soccer quests. Complete the 3 racing quests. Complete the painter's quest. The quests themselves weren't bad at all, mostly just beating each difficulty of the custom minigame they had created for the themed NPCs. Except the 3rd NPC, which had 1 single quest and it was broken for 5 whole days, almost soft-locking me out of 100% on the event. For what it was, that was a fun, decently long experience and pretty charming. 6 out of 10. AE tier. I was on my pull a sword hater arc since the hunt, but this event mission has made me go on a redemption path. In difficulty order the quests go. Finish Nonji's speedrun course. Pull 10 different swords in the game. Beat the evil David boss. While the hunt had a horrible, sloppy, cash grab and doo-doo map design and mission. This has all been fixed and improved upon in the game's event. I can't believe that I'm seriously praising this game. The world design for the event is amazing and filled with charm, team spirit, and summer vibes. All of the team captains also act as NPCs in here, either giving out the main event quests or 2 bonus quests for completing everything in the event and getting 2 really cool swords for the main game. I think the cherry on top of all this is the David boss. He has to be defeated 4 times to get the final silver, and each time you defeat him, he gets a new cool phase, which shocked me. While there's the usual grindiness for a slop simulator, this time around it's not the main focus mostly, and there's a ton of effort and love put into this whole section. Happy to give it an 8 out of 10. S tier. This sure is a game that exists and is playable, yes. In difficulty order the quests go. Gain 1.25k, the game's wins. Hatch 5, the game's eggs. Complete 5, the game's races. I usually have a bit with friends that's like, we have to get the insert event name thingies inside the game, so seeing it actually come to reality was like a whiplash. I genuinely couldn't stop laughing for like a solid 5 minutes. Outside of that, this game just requires you grinding and grinding and grinding. Except, you can press 1 button for free and it all gets done for you. There's a literal AEFK button that does all of the quests for you. We truly live in modern times. While the quests are locked to be completed in order, that AFK button will take care of it pretty much. This is the most nothing mission ever, but I guess it is doing itself. 1 out of 10. F tier. This is the most boring football game I've played in my entire existence. I just can't explain how boring and tiring it is. In difficulty order the quests go. Play a match. Score a goal. Win a match. I just can't explain with words how sluggish this game feels. The field is huge, like really huge, and the player's stamina is almost non-existent. It can take literal minutes in real life to get from one end to the other. The quests themselves are nothing interesting or new. The goal one might be a bit hard depending if you enter an empty server or not, and also if the players that are playing along with you are better or not. The thing which bothers me the most is that there's a public kick system. Anyone can kick anyone with enough votes even if they didn't do anything. I sadly had the displeasure to be kicked twice. Once for almost scoring a goal and the other time for joining a server with level 100 plus players. Not fun. Besides my meeting with the unfun police twice, this was just meh. Nothing new or interesting to see, so 1 out of 10. F tier. Ah, what a throwback. RB Battles was still young at the time and stuff. I've barely touched the game since then, except a few small events. In difficulty order the quests go. Play 3 matches against 3 plus people. Earn 500 quest points. Earn 1000 quest points. This was the first game of the event to launch. Or more technically correct, soft launch. Anyways, the first quest is whatever, but the other 2 were kinda nice to do. There was a task board which had you doing tasks to get quest points. Each task gave different amount of points and was unique. The tasks could range from explore this part of the map or talk to some NPCs to getting a certain kind of score on songs from all sorts of difficulties and player amounts needed. Not much to see here really. Doing the quests gave a funny title and 2 other unique rewards, but that's kind of it for the event here. 3 out of 10. D tier. Something Leonard, you're gonna need a bigger boat. Super buoy. In difficulty order the quests go. Deal 100 damage with the water pistol. Use the galleon boat to sink another. Complete the 4 boat stunts around the map. My brain has rotted since the Ready Player 2 event and I can't find a cure for that. Anyways, the quests are all around fun and no complaints to be had. Although, I genuinely thought for a bit while doing the quests that the grind rail stunt was called the gritty rail, and it hasn't left my mind since. Overall, while simple, it was pretty fun and you get to keep all of the new event tools you were given while doing the quest, so that's nice. No complaints to be had, so 10 out of 10. Perfection tier. I'm entering the domain of the Great Nut Slapper Premium Salad. This will be hard to survive, but I gotta do it. In difficulty order the quests go. Score 4 goals. Hit 10 people using the ball. Win 3 matches. While the quests themselves sound kind of easy to do, they're not. Maybe they'll be fun. Yeah, that's even worse. You're locked to public servers, playing with whoever the game serves. The enemies and allies could be new to the game or already very experienced. Out of your control though. Even in the background video, the Great Slap Glazer is struggling to finish the quests even after begging for his loyal minions to comply and help. Personally though, I like the idea of the game mode and it can be chaotic fun sometimes, but it mostly felt like a chore to do, rather than fun. This was equally fun and unfun to do, but the idea itself was nice and made the best it could be. It gets a nice 6 out of 10. AE tier. Personally, I think this game fits in perfectly with the theme of the event and how the Sonic franchise has connections to other sports-themed events. In difficulty order the quests go. Collect 1000 Chaos Crystals. Get a gold medal on any time trial. Beat Metal Sonic in the TMNT race. First off, I want to state that I was indeed referring to the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games franchise, since the game's event was heavily inspired by the Olympics, and also ran during them. Second thing. While the quests weren't that bad or anything, why was the final one related to a completely separate event? The TMNT race was for another event that's concurrently happening to the games, but TMNT itself had no involvement in the game, so why did the Sonic game tie them together? You know what? Who cares, except me. It is funny that another TMNT event ran during the hunt, and while it wasn't involved in the main quests at the time, it gave stuff in the participating games which made the hunt quests in those games much easier. No idea why I focused on the turtle so much during this section, but what I do know is that this game was boring and had nothing new. Also the shines were pain in the butt to find, so 3 out of 10. D tier. Remember when I mentioned a fun game which reused its main game content for the event? This is it. 30 plus segments later. In difficulty order the quests go. Score 10 goals in hockey. Score 15 hoops in basketball. Place top 5 at the end of a game. While the game had disabled the quests in VIP servers and it was entirely reusing base content for the event. It was just so much fun. The game modes picked for this fit the theme and were incredibly awesome and relaxing to do. While the shines here were somewhat painful to get, what made it bearable was the publicly accessible, free and super fast aka the server finder. Yes, you can indeed just open a menu, pick the game mode or map you need and just be teleported there in an instant. Truly a lifesaver. For what would be a major bad thing in most event games, it's kind of overlooked here cause of the server finder. Overall, had tons of fun and not many issues, so a 6 out of 10 seems perfect for me. AE tier. This is probably the most fun a football game can be on Roblox. Although the quests are kinda meh. In difficulty order the quests go. Pass the ball 7 times to teammates. Tackle 3 players. Score 3 goals. Song. After writing this first part, I forgot if the game actually gave stuff for completing the quests, and it turns out, they never disabled the quests or badges. Even after 2+ weeks, so you can still technically progress in the event. Have fun if it's still up by the time this video is up. As for the quests themselves, nothing special really. Play the game casually and yeah. But on the bright side, you get these cool items for completing the quests. While the quests aren't unique or anything, they're pretty easy and the game itself is fun. Also, not to mention the fact it's still doable, so LOL. 4 out of 10. C tier. I wouldn't call it a horror game exactly, but it heavily leans on the genre and feels a lot like Dead by Daylight. In difficulty order the quests go. Revive 10 players with someone else. Escape with a friend, 3 times. Escape using the train on the subway map. I did this entirely with friends and I can't thank them enough for helping out with Quest 1 specifically. As for how I feel regarding the quests, they were fun mostly. Heavily leaning into teamwork, and the subway escape thing was fun to discover. Not much else to say. This was kind of fun, not a torture to deal with, so 5 out of 10. B tier.
Hey, I'm JC, I love video games, Oreo of Gaming. I've got too many names. Tongue Battles for me was the worst game I played and got me genuinely frustrated playing it. The first silver was earned by unlocking 3 tongues during the event. Not that difficult, and by the time you complete the other 2 tasks, you'd probably end up with 3 new tongues, so this one's fine. But the second silver was the worst. Having to score 10 goals with a soccer ball, which is placed directly in the center of the fighting zone, so you're constantly getting attacked and thrown around all over the place, making it incredibly difficult to score even 1 goal, let alone 10. And I was playing this a few days into the event when there weren't as many players going for goals, and it was still really annoying. The third silver, though, wasn't really difficult. You just needed to deal 800 damage in team mode, but it was definitely time consuming, especially for someone who's never played this game before like me, having no idea what's going on. But eventually you'll get the silver, I guess. I didn't enjoy getting it though. But anyway, I'd rate this one a 3 out of 10 at best, so it gets a D from me.
I genuinely don't know how to feel about this game. It's cool, but it gets pretty boring real fast. The quests in difficulty order go. Earn 50 coins. Play a round with a full relay team. Play 10 different round types. So the quests are not that bad really, play casually, except for quest 2, and you'll get it done in no time. The real problem was the shines. My god, the shines were a pain to find. They were tiny, and masked as normal objects hidden around the lobby which you had to find. There isn't really much to discuss here. You just play this game where you run in circles most of the time and that's it. It doesn't take long to finish, but it is pretty boring, so 3 out of 10. D tier. Not going to lie, I originally thought that this game would offer a bit more when it comes to the event. I was really let down. The quests in difficulty order go. Get Swole level 5. Get Swole level 8. Get Swole level 11. I imagined more from the so-called training facility, but what I got was a huge letdown. It's 3 mini-games that you can choose from to do and get XP. This is the only way to progress in the quest 2, which means that you'd have to grind for a solid 2 to 3 hours the same mini-game or switching it up. This was so mind-numbingly boring and tedious to do, that I was chipping at this quest for 3 days between playing the actually fun quests so I could get motivated to finish this crap. I never played any of the other minigames since the ball catch one was quick and gave pretty good progress. While this is an entirely new mode and the shines were fun to find, my experience with this was so bad that I almost didn't want to finish this game out of hatred for it. 1 out of 10. F tier.
Hey guys, C1 here. Today we're going to be reviewing the best game of all time as part of Roblox The Games called Untitled Boxing Game. So, to start out, you need to get 5 shines and then you need to complete quests and do the thingamajig or whatever, right? The first shine is going to be right about in the lobby, just behind the leaderboard. And then the other one's going to be, you just have to walk around a little bit and it's behind one of the, arenas, if I remember correctly. Both are in the lobby. And then a third one, now this is going to be incredibly difficult, but you need to have a friend, and then you need to finish a battle with them. Crazy, right? Having friends while playing Roblox? I can't imagine. And then the next one, you have to go over here and you have to click on question mark to enter this world. And then you need to spend some time walking around, interacting with all these fake shines until you find a real one. Now once you get the badge, you'll know that you found the real one. This one's going to be a little bit annoying, but it'll take some time. It kind of reminds me of one of the badges you need for Manners Completionist, now that I think about it, but anyways, whatever. Now, this one you have to navigate through the menus a little bit, and you see this very unfunny meme Soyjack guy pointing at the wall. Yeah, you need to go ahead and click on that until you get the shine. And then once the shine pops up, you need to click it, and then you'll get the badge. Woohoo! Alright. Now we have to go through the actual annoying part of the game. So you're gonna have to progress through the story and let him talk to you like yada yada yada, you are, this guy's unbeatable, he's scary, nobody wants to fight him, blah 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 blah. So you're just gonna have to go ahead and beat him up. He's actually pretty easy to beat, even if you're bad at the game. Then the next one is going to be a similar thing, but this time you're going to be facing off against a guy who's like a pedophile clown or something like that. And he's actually going to be pretty difficult to beat if you're bad at fighting games. Or at least it was before the nerf. I don't know if this game was nerfed or not, but this was pretty terrible. And honestly kind of pay to win, and I hate it. But anyway, so you have to try to keep beating him, and then if you fail, you can just spend Robux to spin until you get specifically the corkscrew fighting style. Then once you get that, you'll be able to take this guy down, no problem. Yeah, you'll get the shine, no, not the shine, you'll complete the quest, and then that'll be great. Alright, and now for the final quest, you just need to defeat the homeless guy. Yeah, he's totally homeless, he looks like it, or his name's Father something or other, I can't remember. You just need to beat his first stage, and try not to die in the process. Now the good thing about this is that you actually need to beat just his first phase, and not entirely murder him, because he is pretty much impossible to beat unless you're like an absolute fighting game god. So I don't know why they did it like that, or why they didn't just make him a normal boss, but whatever, I guess. So once you're done that, you'll have all the badges in this god-awful game, and then you can move on to the next god-awful game in the god-awful event called Roblox The Games. Overall, I would give this a 3 out of 10, and I would place it in D tier. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you never.
I don't know. Initially, I was expecting to not like this and be sad while doing it, but it was super fun to do and it got me hooked. So the quests will be reviewed one by one since they go together in groups of 2. Quest number 1 is merge 25 fruits and create a cantaloupe. For a first quest, this isn't exactly hard to do, but you'll need to be careful for the most part. Quest number 2 is get a score of 1500 plus points and merge 25 fruits in the first 60 seconds of a round. These requirements are a pretty big jump compared to the first quest. While the first requirement isn't too bad to achieve, I've seen a ton of people struggling with the second, and I can see why, especially if you don't got good luck or fast reflexes. Quest number 3. Win a public duel. Originally, this quest had a secondary requirement too, which was winning a public duel while getting a watermelon, but it was removed during day 1 of the event, after multiple complaints from the public for it being way too hard. I really enjoyed these quests and the little free reward everyone got for participating, the sports skin pack. So for the final game I'm going to cover this gets 6 big Chungus packs out of 10. AE tier. This right here is the final ranking for the game's event. I've excluded the hub since I count it for its own thing, and I've also excluded volleyball because I got the badges when someone with admin awarded them all to me, thus I never technically did the quests and I don't get the right to review it. You know, for all of this torture and misery that's playing the event. What do you get in return? We shall now rate the game's Battle Pass. Both paid and free tracks. Prize number 1 is the earbuds. They cost 60 silver to earn. The white ones are free while the blue version can be bought for 65 Robux on its own, or in the 600 Robux pass upgrade which gives access to all the paid variants. Prize number 2 is the cleats/football shoes. They cost 130 silver to earn. The white ones are free while the blue version can be bought for 149 Robux on its own, or in the 600 Robux pass. Prize number 3 is the jacket. They cost 190 silver to earn. The white ones are free while the blue version can be bought for 99 Robux on its own, or in the 600 Robux pass. Prize number 4 is the joggers. They cost 250 silver to earn. The white ones are free while the blue version can be bought for 85 Robux on its own, or in the 600 Robux pass. Prize number 5 is the racing kit. They cost 310 silver to earn. The white ones are free while the blue version can be bought for 249 Robux on its own, or in the 600 Robux pass. Prize number 6 is the MVP wings. They cost 370 silver plus reaching an MVP rank on your chosen team to earn them. The white ones are free while the blue version can be bought for 999 Robux on its own, or in the 600 Robux pass. Prize number 7 is the crystal diadem. It costs 550 silver. It was released at the end of the event to celebrate and match the color scheme of the winning team. The winners were the Crimson Cats and thus the diadem is stained with red blood splatters. We kind of discussed this at the start of the video, which was ages ago, but to get this, you had to defeat the 1x1x1x1 boss which was added towards the end of the event and you'd get it? Sadly the boss no longer awards the prize once the event concluded, but it is still accessible. So these shirts were given, or more accurately shot out, by star creators who were on the team of the shirt they were giving. From most to least shot out, the shirts go in order. Rimsunkats, Giant Feet, Pink Warriors, Mighty Ninjas, Angry Canaries. Unlike the shirts, the capes were given for joining a team and a normal player could take only one. But some special, let's call them Gunters found out that you can actually get all of them through certain means. Moving on, the capes going from most to least chosen are Rimsunkats, Mighty Ninjas, Angry Canaries, Pink Warriors, Giant Feet. Okay, so after a few moments of thinking, here's my tier list regarding the prizes. Decided to exclude the paid merch drops. Overall, the game's event was a huge letdown in every possible way. The actual games either put tons of love and got praise or were the majority. Also the prizes were absolutely mediocre with the exceptions of the capes and the paid merch drops. Sadly, I'm not the minority here which thinks of it this way. Another thing that I want to point out is that the event's main gimmick of the team competition was just rigged from the start. It was all truly a popularity contest and it shows so clearly. Me and others just wished for it to be more like MVC where it's custom characters fighting and not YouTubers. Sadly this event is a huge step down from both the classic and the hunt which saddens me. I can only hope Roblox learned from the hell this was and aim to actually do better during the next event. That's it for me and bye. Huge thanks to the 3 guests which did some voiceover for the video. Also thanks to the people behind the scenes who helped me with shaping out the video, for better or for worse. Yee. Till we meet again. On Roblox or on Discord. Or maybe in the next event. But we will meet again.